I'm just not the person who's going to grab all the content when I'm out. I'm not the person who's going to put myself in uncomfortable situations. I'm not the person who's outgoing and is going to plan those dinners with people. I'm not the person who's going to be, outspoken about something that I want. Well, if you want to get your thing, guess what? You have to let go of the identity of I'm not that person, and you have to become that person.
And we're back
with another episode of He Said, She Said.
And if you haven't heard, this is your announcement that we have the greatest program on earth coming out. It's been over 4 years since we had a program designed specifically for businesses earning under $500,000 and trying to transcend up to those next levels. We have spent so much time with our team and with people like you giving us feedback on what the perfect program would be. And we have designed it, and it launches in 4 weeks. And here's the catch. It's going to be really accessible. It's going to be really affordable. It's going to be the most hands-on, greatest online business program that you could ever be a part of. But because it's so hands-on, unfortunately, we can only take just so many people at launch. And so you have to get on the wait list. So right now, if you want to be a part of this thing, go to LoriHarder.com/waitlist. Again, that's LoriHarder.com/waitlist. Put yourself on the wait list, because this is literally going to change the game for any business under $500,000.
This is the most supportive mastermind on the internet. And that was our goal, is to make sure that you are not stuck at home waiting for the next call to ask your question, but you really get to ask it in almost real time, if not real time, to people who are specifically assigned different parts of your business. So we have mentors in there for every part of your business. Picture finances, picture funnels, picture
media,
launch,
marketing,
media,
hiring, you name it. We literally have a coach that we have hired in any specific area of your business that you get one-on-one help. Unlimited with your business is going to be the best thing ever. So here's what you do. Go to LoriHarder.com/waitlist. If you're not on the waitlist, you won't have a chance. Like I said, we can only handle just so many people because it's that hands-on. So go to LoriHarder.com/waitlist. Put yourself on the waitlist. Cannot wait to see who gets into this thing.
Guys, you do not grow on the couch by yourself trying to figure it out. That's just a really fast way to waste time. Chris and I have always invested in ourselves, even when we had to scrape it up. And that is truly what helped us grow.
Speaking of growing, you have to kind of think about, who do you have to become to hit the goals you want to hit? Who do you have to become to receive the amount of money that you want to receive? Who do you have to become to own that business you dream of, or be that entrepreneur, or really anything that you desire to be? You have to become a different person than you are right now. And that's what today's episode's about.
So we were at dinner last night. We love to go out on a Friday night to our favorite date night spots. We've got a couple spots in the neighborhood that we're obsessed with. And so last night, I love it. I check OpenTable all the time. I was like, crap, there's nothing open. And 5 minutes before we were about to leave and try somewhere else, I got a reservation at my favorite spot. But we always end up asking each other, questions about our week, and kind of like really, I always try to dig in to get to really know kind of like the meat of your week, like what really happened, how were you feeling? And one of the questions I thought of, mainly for me as well, because I'm asking myself this question right now, and I wanted to go through it together with you because we're really together on this set of goals that we have. We've got like this big audacious goal that we really want to do in 3 years. And so I asked him last night, who do each of us individually have to be in order to accomplish that goal? And what that did is it really made us look at our habits, our attitudes, and how we're showing up, like in the world, for ourselves, for our health, all of the things. So this kind of spiraled into obviously this podcast now, but us really getting into some great conversation and realizing like you have to really change who you are at the core and those habits every single day.
Yeah, one of the answers that I gave Lori was, who do I have to become who I really want to be? And that is, I want to have even more influence than we do right now on helping other people. And so that means we need larger audiences. And if you need larger audiences, that means you have to really work at it. It doesn't just happen.
Yeah.
And so that means I have to become the person who prioritizes good content, even though I'm crazy busy, even though I'm tired, even though I don't feel like it. And so she said, okay, Same question. Who do you have to become to be the person who feels like doing it and who will and willingly put out really good content? I said, okay, fair question. Like, what's the question behind the question? I have to stay in just slightly better shape than I already am. So I always feel good in front of camera at the drop of a hat instead of waiting to film on a day that I feel good. I have to maybe dress a little bit better, more consistently, so we can grab content in the moment instead of being like, I haven't showered in 2 days and I'm wearing the same sweatshirt and same backwards hat for the last 2 days because that's my quote unquote efficient way of being right now. So who do I have to become? I have to become someone who is a little more prepared to capture the content when the moment strikes if we're going to have that much better content.
Right down to if we know we're going on date nights on the weekend when we're actually both dressed up, giving ourselves 30 minutes before, like getting ready 30 minutes prior to get content. Because why would you add that to your week when you're already dressed, you're already ready, if you already know you're going to do it and you could just do things a little bit different? So planning ahead even more, like saving ourselves time, planning ahead, and also not showing up irritated to that moment. Like, oh, why are we doing this? We have to remember that everything around our content and around social media is for the greater goal. And for Chris and I, like when we first got into business, we didn't sign up to be influencers. Like you and I did not sign up to be like, oh my gosh, let's get all the content. Ooh, get videos of me, get photos of me. And that's great if you love it. I wish that I did, but I actually despise it. And
I despise it more.
Chris despises it more. And I'm learning to make myself have a really good attitude about it, knowing that if we get good at this and we feel good about it, this is going to be one of the easiest ways for us to grow.
And this is the truth. And, we jotted down like 5-6 things that we think you need to consider if you want to grow into the person to hit the goals that you want to hit. And this kind of kicks off the first one, and that is become less attached to old versions of yourself or current beliefs of yourself. Think about that. Become less attached to old versions of yourself or current beliefs of yourself. And Lori just shared, mine is like, I hate making content. I hate stopping to film before we're going out somewhere. I literally despise it. But if you want the goal, you have to do the things you don't feel like doing to get the goal. I think we spend too much time in this world being like, how do I get there in a more aligned way? No, listen, roll up your sleeves and do the thing you don't feel like doing and get the reward, or don't roll up your sleeves and don't do the thing you don't feel like doing and then get nothing in return. Those are your two choices, guys. Stop trying to live somewhere in the freaking middle.
I think one of the biggest cop-out things that we say to ourselves, I've said it multiple times, Chris has said it multiple times, is that's just not who I am. Whether it's about, I'm just not the person who's going to grab all the content when I'm out. I'm not the person who's going to put myself in uncomfortable situations. I'm not the person who's outgoing and is going to plan those dinners with people. I'm not the person who's going to be, outspoken about something that I want. Well, if you want to get your thing, guess what? You have to let go of the identity of I'm not that person, and you have to become that person, or you're never going to get it. And you're going to use that as a massive cop-out.
The most powerful word in this podcast, the most powerful word in this title is that word become. Sometimes you have to become a version of yourself that you have been reluctant to become in order to get the very things that you have not been getting up to now. I couldn't make it any more clean cut than that, right? There's no magically easy, comfortable way to get there. And that's kind of the second piece of that one is when we say become less attached to old versions of yourself, I would add to that, become less attached to what's comfortable and be open to what's uncomfortable in order to receive new things because you're finally doing new things. Okay, so that's one of them. The second one is this. You got to become more efficient, right? In this quest to become someone who is the person who can receive the goals that you want to receive, you have to become more efficient. You have to stop spending so much time figuring things out on your own and instead start trading that time, collaborating with other people to get faster answers. I can't stress this enough. Efficiency doesn't just mean like, ooh, I'm time blocking now, or ooh, I run my calendar better. Those are all parts of it, of course. Like maybe you have to become someone who's more organized on your calendar. That's of course part of it. But what I'm saying is you have to become someone who is not always trying to figure it out yourself and instead spend that very same time and energy collaborating with people that'll show you the faster, better way to do it. And when we do that, shit just takes off.
I can think of this as for yesterday within my company, like I need to find really good UGC creators and very influential people who are willing to share Glōci in a way that is truly authentic to them and loving the product. And instead of me going, okay, I can solve this on my own, I'll just be the person who creates all of the content. That's not collaborative. I'm not going to be able to grow this company in the way that I want through my own organic or Natalie Ellis's own organic, who is my co-founder. Like, yes, those are amazing, but we have to have a much larger reach, which means I need to start asking and collaborating faster. And so, yesterday, I took all of yesterday reaching out to people, asking favors, asking for help, asking to get on calls. And that's the shortcut. You literally need help. I can't just sit here and think I'm going to solve this problem by myself.
If you keep doing everything yourself and just working harder, you're still only going to be operating within what your own brain, your own paradigm knows.
Mhm.
There's going to be no radical ideas, no radical new ways of doing things. You're just going to be trying harder at the same old way that you did it before. And that would have already worked by now if that was ever going to work.
Mhm.
All right, the third one, become someone who is excited to invest in growth. I got to tell you a story. So back when we were first kind of creating personal brands and all this stuff, more than 10 years ago, I was so reluctant to invest in anything. I always thought, hey, we can figure it out. Hey, I can do this part. Hey, my brother Nick can figure this out. And I would always take the cheapest route to accomplishing said project, right? So, hey, we got to do this social media thing. One of us will figure it out. Hey, we got to do these ads. One of us will figure it out. Hey, we got to do it. Now, when you're in the beginning and you have no money to spend, that's a great trait. That's called resourcefulness. And I love it and I applaud it. But this was when we were in the phase where we had money to spend, but I was so cheap. I didn't want to part with any of that money. And I would always take the cheap way out of doing it. Well, guess what? Not wanting to part with $1 cost us 10. Not wanting to part with 100 cost us 1,000 in revenue. Not wanting to part with 1,000 cost us 100,000 in, right? Like the minute I opened up the wallet, and really kudos to Lori, she's like, stop being cheap, you son of a bitch. Like I'm hiring the best person. And the minute we started doing that is when everything took off in our life. Let that sink in a minute. We went from scrappy and resourceful, which you have to be in the beginning, to then once we had the money to invest, becoming open to parting with it to hire the best person for each project. And that's what really helped put us on the map and create a lot of the success that we've already had. All right, number 4. This one's really important. Become a better decision maker.
So when you're in the beginning, you make decisions very slow. And it's going to cost you, especially if you're not necessarily paying someone for decisions. It's smart to make decisions much faster. And I'm just going to use an example. Yesterday, I needed to start recording some different reels for my company, Glōci. And I was like, okay, but what route should I take? Like, what story should I tell? What should I be doing? Okay, I should really think about this and plan it out. And I looked at my brand coordinator and I said, you know what? Screw all of this. We don't need a plan right now. What we need is we need a reel up today, and we need a reel up tomorrow, and we need a reel up the next day. So let's tear off the Band-Aid and fricking do some things and get data from that and then make our plan. And that is one of the examples of you just need to freaking make decisions fast and start taking action every day and making your plan off of that.
I can't stress this enough. Listen up. This is the punchline that will change everything for you. It's not about becoming a more perfect decision maker. It's about becoming a faster decision maker so you can make the decision, get the feedback. Did it work? Did it not work? And then make the adjustments. And the adjustments are another decision. That then gives you feedback. Did that work? Did that not? And then you make more adjustments. I can't stress this enough. It's not about becoming someone who makes perfect decisions. It's about becoming someone who makes faster decisions and welcomes the feedback and makes the adjustments. If you just grasp that, everything in your life will absolutely take off. And then the last one that we kind of kicked around and talked about when it comes to becoming the person who you want to become in order to receive the goals that you want to receive is you have to become the identity that matches the goals. You have to literally already embody and be that person.
So again, I'm going to stay on this example because I have to be recording so much content right now that the old me feels very resistant around it. I feel embarrassed when my brand coordinator is following me around getting content. I feel like, let's just get this over with. And the example is that when I start feeling that resistance, I literally am like, okay, I'm noticing the resistance. How can I let this go? How can I get excited about this? How can I think about, the outcome of what this is going to bring? How could I be someone who could just be okay with it and be like, let's do it. Yes, you're right. Let's do it. Let's make this a great one. Let's have a great attitude about this. And that has been working for me, meaning I'm noticing less and less resistance as I notice it come up and go, okay, this is not who I want to be. I want to be someone who enjoys this. I want to be someone who can remember the goal. I think that's the main problem with all of this, you guys, is we get so far away from the goal because they are so far out sometimes that we forget that these are the actions that we need to get excited about because these are the exact ones that will bring us there.
Sticking with the theme of become the identity that matches the goal. This is great. I had somebody come up to us at the Elite Entrepreneur Mastermind that we ran last week, one of the members, and it's his first year in it. I'm making small talk with him. Why'd you join? He said, I'll tell you why I joined.
I know we're always looking to take our business and marketing to the next level. So meet Brevo, the all-in-one marketing and CRM platform designed to help you connect with customers, drive engagement, and grow your business. With Brevo, you can manage all your customers' interactions in one place, nurture leads through their built-in CRM, reach them through email and SMS, and boost retention with powerful automations. Effortlessly create personalized multi-channel campaigns that ensure every single customer gets the right message at the right time. And that's not all. Brevo offers AI-driven personalization, advanced analytics, seamless integrations, and more, giving you everything you need to market smarter, not harder. Get started for free today or use code HAPPY to save 50% on starter and business plans for the first 3 months of an annual subscription. Head to www.brevo.com/happy and take your marketing further with Brevo. When I was very first starting Glōci, one of the most important things that we wanted to make sure we had was an incredible customer experience when they were on the website and when they were checking out. And I knew that it would be so incredibly important to make it seamless for them. And that is why we chose Shopify, because nobody does selling better than Shopify. It's home of the #1 checkout on the planet and the not so secret with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%. And we all know if you don't have a great experience, you're going to bounce. And that is not a good thing for a business. And with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, that means way less carts are going abandoned and way more sales are going. Cha-ching. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout I use. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/happy. That's all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/happy to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/happy.
I know that I have to become the person who's already hanging out with the people who are doing what I want to do.
Yep.
Right. So this was his shortcut. This was his fast track. This was his version of becoming the identity that matches the goal. He said, I need to be the person that hangs out with these people. He goes, I'll be honest with you. He lives in Minnesota, kind of rural Minnesota. He's like, I don't really have friends and I don't really have people and I don't really have guys that think the way I want to think, that behave the way I want to behave, that are doing business at the level I want to do. But he's like, I don't have that at all. That's why I joined. I knew I'd be instantly surrounded by people who are already being the person who I want to become. And when he was saying, he's like all excited. He's like, it worked. Like, I've only been here a couple of days and look around. Like, I've got these friends and you made this intro for me. And because I made a cool intro for him back there. And like, I'm telling you, becoming the identity that matches the goal, there's so many ways to embody that person instantly. That means maybe changing who you spend more time with, maybe changing how you dress, like the example I gave before. I got to be less sloppy all the time, perhaps. Maybe it means becoming more fit or eating healthier so you have better energy. Maybe it means putting yourself in more luxurious spaces. So maybe you're walking through 5-star hotels to get inspiration, or dining once in a great while at that place that intimidates you a little bit. You have to become the identity that matches the goal and already kind of embody as if you're that person.
This has been huge for us through the years. We've done this in so many different modalities, whether it's been like, oh my God, we don't necessarily have money to be moving into that place. By the way, this is not financial advice. This is just what's worked for Chris and I. But we're like, let's reach a little bit higher for that condo to move into after we lost our
and
home.
It worked.
And it worked because it put us around the people who were thinking bigger, which means the neighbors that we talked to and the neighbors that we got invited over for dinner, these people were thinking big. They had big businesses. And also just being in that surrounding was like, this is who you are. This is what you want. This is where you belong. And that for me, like changed the game. I was like, I'm going to act like the person who freaking deserves to live here.
All right, guys. So listen, hopefully these 5 ways to become the person who you need to become in order to receive the goal that you want to receive. Hopefully this helps out. And I'm sure you can see a few opportunities in here where making sure you're a part of the Mentor Collective Mastermind for all businesses that are currently making under $500,000 and want to transcend that mark. Like Lori said, this is the most hands-on, accessible, awesome mastermind that has ever been created for that level of business. We're going to focus on collaboration. We're going to focus on you guys building relationships in there. And you also get access to literally any type of coach in any area of your business that you need, paid for by us. You just have to be a part of the program. But because of all that, the wait list is going to be hot and heavy, and you're going to have to be on it to even have a chance to get one of those seats. So right now, this episode's over. Go to loriharder.com/waitlist. And we can't wait to see who gets some of these seats in 30 days.
We are so excited to work with you again. This is one of our favorite things that we get to do. And you guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will talk to you next week.